A couple of them went to DMD in Billings. So if you see some of the senators, I believe they went to that meeting that concerns the Westmoreland issues. Some of them are over there, and a couple of them have some appointments. We'll have the rest of the senators introduce themselves once we open up for prayer. Newton, let them to give them before we get started. It's always good to get started off with prayer.
Senators put it on security. Ivan Klutcher är den legislativa hoteln. Vi kan höra det så. Det var skotisa. Det är att man manutser inte upp där alla vill. Man var sitt och det var så det man måste på man vill kvar. För går det så i bredvid. Man inte man kan man sa det hur man vill gå i misär. Vilket det är vad det är. Riktigt man kunde inte bara när man började man var roligt man lustigt var det precis
Committees bows under the legislative branch. We're in our October session, 2-week session. Go again. We're winding down from our session, and one of the major issues that we have is our budget, the budget issue, and that's why we wanted to bring some elders in and explain to them what the situation is right now, where we're sitting at. And our budget falls under our finance chair, Senator Frank Whiteclay from Black Lodge, and he's been handling this budget since that's his duties pretty much for a year to deal with the finance issues. So at this time, I'll turn the floor over to Frank. There's some handouts. He's going to pretty much go over those handouts and try to explain to you on that handout to clarify that. And once it's over, then we'll start. If you guys have questions, then we can go from there and try to answer all your questions. So at this time, I'll turn the floor over to Senator Frank Whiteclay, Finance Committee, Chairman of the Finance Committee.
All right, thank you, Speaker. My name is Frank Whiteclay. I'm from the Black Lodge District. I'm the Chairman of the Finance Committee and the Natural Resource Committee. I handed out...
Frank, sorry, I forgot. I wanted them to introduce themselves before we get going, so let's start from people.
You Whiteclay, Black Lodge representative. I hold a low chicken. The leader of Williams, yes. Margaret was chief. Margaret. I got Mandalay. I hold the low.
Rico Brown, Willow Street, Richard Below. You wait till my head. What are you about? One had use, no plane, look at it, John Trash. Black Lodge District, not charge, no plane. What's the Sadak? He's out, but the bottom of the love. These girls, so much spirit, the house walk, too much a hooper. I got his weight so much. Oh, thank you for coming.
Hello, Thomas Elto, Lodge Grass District. Thank you guys for coming. I'm also the Vice Chair of the Finance Committee. I'm the Chairman of the Health and Human Services Committee also. And we're doing a lot of work over there. But you guys are here for finance, and I'm glad you're all here. Wish there was more people that came, but thanks for coming.
Yes. Thank you for coming. My name is Brandon Goodluck. I represent the Mighty Few. I live in Whyalla. I know some of the folks here. I'm born and raised in Whyalla, and like I said, even though I'm from Whyalla, I still stick up for the elders, no matter what, whether you're from Black Lodge or Pryor or wherever. Like I said, it's good you came. It's good that you can get informed. You need to hear that a lot of debt that we've accumulated in years. It started to snowball. And I got some handouts for you guys here. And a lot of it is debt and program debt, that we have a lot of mismanagement in the tribe right now. Mismanagement means when you take money and use it for a different purpose when that money is supposed to go to the diabetic program, or it's supposed to go to the health and human for the wages of the employees, but it doesn't go there. It goes somewhere else. Like I said, you guys, it's good you came, you know. Like I said, if you have questions with your senators, ask them. That's why we're here. Thank you.
Oh, well, they sabe que ele foi com a luz e eu chegar para casa. Well, there's a new Oak Grove Junior, JRWA, Mighty District Representative Legislature. Lagen, you go out for Mitchell, Netball, you says. They want to, that's all. Mom, Polly Offshore. Well, there's a illegal, as you go to you. Sabe que ele foi com a luz, do Oak Grove Junior. And I gave him a big good way. Benito, Brent, and Frank, he didn't offer to you. He said, you make your face stone and then you advocate for your elders. But they want to follow him, go out. And well, they school anyway, follow that guy, and he will, all that time, who's on the gateway.
Good morning. Well, zašto čuze, Josef zašto čuze Marlon Jojo, Jojo koji ivaži. Ja geaše representative karibi, Mitchell bilo, ali karika informative meeting kiri nage škola cabila pričis kako liječovaci Mitchell.
Oh, yeah. Check deal, no. Make it say, Buchslige Channel. Ik bedoel, de Asche Gogol, een male Pelagamile, wat ik ook een 10 years laat toeswallen. Dan ik ook, nog maar toesport. Ik, waar bij Marsbos. De Apogel, deze bij is levens de cijfers verhoor, lagen nog een best, dan beetje de daar je Gooi wel als dat lukken waar tak, na is dat servoas na is dat ses go picture play hem. Go nog een best, look, je klaar dat subtiel wat is faz en maar is kom met is verhoor ook al heel hem. Alleen chess. Men, maar als je dus beschouwt, alleen chess. Hoe dat, alleen chess, hoe moeilijk moet. Dit check de loon, maar best. Oh.
There you go. I think that's everyone. I want the staff to introduce themselves also, because then it's the first time here at the branch, so we go down, or we got our legal, and we got a couple of staff back here. So real quick, your title and your name.
Rachel Priyanka, I'm the accounts payable clerk, traffic specialist.
Balasha Jackie Blacksmith, administrative officer, big the law home.
Hi, I'm Thor Hoyt. I'm your legislative attorney.
Sherry Chandler, Public Relations, IT.
I'm Celisa Jefferson, I'm the receptionist. Good morning, I'm Leslie Clayton, and I'm the legal assistant in the legal office.
Good morning. Kenny Priyanka, we hired a parliamentarian, Sergeant Arms. Then is boss out of me. Pitchy glow.
Hey, tell me.
Harold Stone Jr., representing the Miami View District. It's good to see all the elders here. Get some advice from you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I think that's everyone we've got here as far as our staff and senators. So like I said, I'll turn the floor back over to Senator Whiteclay from Black Lodge here, chairman of our finance committee, to keep going some of the explanations here.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, elders, for coming. I think everybody kind of said their piece. For the handout I gave out 2 handouts. The first one that I gave out was a breakdown of the budget, of what's going on, and one of the biggest questions, what's the holdup on the budget. To give you a timeline, we received the budget on September 29th, and the fiscal year is October 1st. That Friday, we received the first budget on Friday, and then we didn't have a meeting. We had a meeting that day, but I'll go down this line, and currently we've only had the chairman here one time since Friday the 29th of September. What usually happens is we start on it early in the year. We have meetings all throughout the year. It's supposed to be by July session, it should be approved, ready to go, and then we just smooth right into the fiscal year. That's been the case in some years past. Some years it's been a little late, but all the time we're always working on it. We have cooperation between the branches, and this year we received it. I requested it probably every day or every week since April. We need to sit down, look at a forecast of our budgets, our monies, and everything like that, and see where we're at. And we haven't had that response, or if it was a response, it was kind of through email and all that. So we received the first budget on the 29th of September, when our fiscal year is October 1st. So that kind of puts it in perspective. Coming down on this printout, I had it, Chairman Not Afraid submitted to the legislator a budget. That legislator wrote to the chairman that his document was not sufficient, and we asked for a proper budget. And the submission for that was in bits and pieces. We required a whole budget to be legal. And then the details of that budget was that it was not balanced. We had a incoming revenue lower than our expenditures. It was upside down. And then from last year's budget, we had a budget of $15 million in revenues with an expenditure of $25 million in executive. And that's $10 million more than what was budgeted, what the forecast was, the incoming revenues. And that out of that $25 million, legislature spent 6% of that budget. We had a budget of 2.1, and we probably spent 1.4, 1.3 and some change, and it added up. Rough estimate is 1.4, and that was 6% of that 25 million. Then the budget did not include all sources of revenue. That was the key, is that we need all sources of revenue to make a balanced budget. We need everything added up, so that way we can make an informed decision and make sure that monies are allocated. In previous years, we've had those. And then the narratives, part of a budget is narratives, explaining to everybody where you're using that money for, what you're going to use it for, what's going to be expended for, and the narratives were vague. They didn't include details on each program, where it was going to be spent back and forth. And then we received 1 day after submission deadline, not 15 days before session as required by law. Our law states that 15 days before any session we receive bills from executive. We did not receive that. It was 1 day after the deadline. So our mechanics of that was to have them call a special session, and then we go through the period there. But it's, to me, if that's on your mind, you would get it done. That's how we operate here. If that's the top of your list, you would get it done, because the budget affects everybody. It affects the elders, it affects all the programs under it, it affects us, you know, and everywhere through that. So in previous years, we've had budgets that were done early, done on time, and with the proper procedures that were taking place. We require a CD, the bill, and a letter with it. And our law states that we don't have it in pieces, we have it all in one, and so the secretary can approve it, and that wasn't the case. And going down to the middle of the boxes here, we have Chairman Nodford responded to the legislature's concerns by submitting through the Tribe CPA for a new budget. While some of the legislature's concerns were answered, not everything was addressed in there. The new budget we got had a 75% cut in tribal employees. The budget did not address law enforcement, Head Start program, back pay to its employees. We have employees that are at the executive 400 hours old, 500 hours old, and going through everything that's through some general funds, even through some federal programs. The average work month is 160 hours, so some of them haven't been paid for 3 to 4 months, and even longer. And that doesn't include the employees that were furloughed, that had back pay and annual leave coming to them, and that was leave and benefits that they earned, that was earned by the employees. So then we had another issue. 500 buffalo were given to the 3 affiliated with no money paid to Crow and no plan for the money to be paid to Crow. 500 buffalo were sold at $1,000 apiece, and we have a special resolution from the 3 affiliated stating the fact. And it was pretty general. There was no plan on payback, what they were getting for it, what the agreement was, and we had no copies of the agreement. The buffalo are trust assets to the tribe. They don't fall under fishing game. The buffalo are considered the same as land, minerals, and everything else that belong to the membership. Those are they're a property owned by the membership. So that's a trust asset that was, we never seen it here. It never came through. It never came through for approval here. And that hit ground on 2 areas is that we have a threshold. If they receive monies through a certain threshold, it has to come through here. There is no expenditure report for that. There is nothing on that. We haven't received anything. Senator Goodluck asked about the buffalo for that because, as he stated, it belongs to the people. And the response we got is, we'll have a bison management plan. We haven't seen a bison management plan here. And that was supposed to be brought in through special session, or October session, excuse me. And then we had, we contacted 3 affiliated, I did, and the response I got was that an email was sent through their government email through 3 affiliated stating that any information given outside of business council, outside of the tribe, will result in immediate termination. That was through 3 affiliated's email, and with that, that's your assets, that's my kids' assets, that's everybody's assets right there, and that constitutes as same as land. That's a trust responsibility, that's a trust asset, and we had nothing from there. We didn't know until it showed up at the 3 affiliated special council. That was done, I believe, on August 14th. And on top of that, we had no bison management plan. We had nothing available, and We still have non-Indians are hunting illegally in the mountains and taking Crow Trust resources. Our law states that we have to have 2 signatures on that, chairman and the Natural Resource Cabinet head for those buffalo to be hunted, and that the monies that are regained from that come through the finance and that they're reported. No monies have been reported on recent hunts, and all of the hunts associated. We have an outfitter, a Crow member, through the quarterly report, Chaz Benz. Only his deposits were reported through quarterly report from CEO. We have other non-Indians that are hunting up there on the buffalo pasture that we went through natural resources. We talked to the Fish and Game Department, and they've been active in this, but we don't see the money from those hunts. We don't know where it goes. We've never seen anything from it. It hasn't been reported to us. And when we look through the budget, it's not a reported item on that budget. And it's not no small amounts. Each buffalo is around on the hunts. The last one we got from the legal hunt is that they were paying $6,300 per buffalo for those hunts. $6,300. And then the next one down is there's no documentation for the executive credit card and travel expenses. Right there we have a single credit card by, when asked the vice chair and other people that were here, they stated that they never had a credit card, or when they did it was closed out, but we have one credit card that we know of. And the last amount was, the unreconciled amount was $300,000. And we had last year's expenditure of travel that was reconciled was $369,000, but there was still no documentation on the credit cards and lines of credit for those, and how they're reconciled and what the expenditures on those were in statements. We have never received those. And you know that's all together. I believe the CPA verbally, we asked him for a statement of these, and he said reconciled was roughly around 600,000, 300,000 from before, and about 300,000 non-reconciled. And we asked for a statement on that. Then the 4.8 million from the BOR, Bureau of Reclamation. We asked for expenditure on report on that, and because that was received from what Executive Legal said was around August, and then last year, 2017, BOR gave the Crow Tribe $12 million, 12.8. So from that, it was supposed to be sent to us, put in a special account. They received that in August. Then back in December, this is all last year, 2017, when that money was put into that special account, only $8 million was accounted for. So that 4.8 million that wasn't there is what we asked for expenditures, and that's where we kind of tied the line between where they made that extra 10 million over in expenditures. Was part of that was from that 4.8, and that's not allowed. Currently, we're looking at executive brought over a payment plan for that. Not a full plan, but just program debt. And with going through our budgets and our committee and with the different senators here, we'd like to know where that money was spent so we can report to our people. That's one of the things that we have to report to our people, is where that money was spent, where it went, and why are we paying it back. That's an issue. It's in the paper. We've been making the paper pretty much every week. 1.8 LBBP, 1.8 million. The LBBP is a revenue that's generated from lease income on land buyback lands that were acquired. It goes into a special account, and that's supposed to be used for certain things. That stipulations on there. We had a proposal that came over and they wanted to use the 1.8 for summer youth, trash. There was like 4 items on there that wasn't what we thought was priority. At that time, we had services to Bullis that were unpaid. He was stopping services. The elders at that time weren't paid June and July payment, and we had other priorities there. So we talked to the executive. We said, you know, these are your priorities. We have our own, and we said elders, burial, Head Start, trash, and we had district funds there for assistance. So that was a hard fight. Some of the senators can attest to this, but I had no way of paying the elders. The legislator here had no way of trying to deem that out because we already had budgeted for the elders, but the budget wasn't followed from last year. So what we did out of the LVVP was 1.8 million. The committee decided that was our priority list, was the elders. We put in 762,000, and that gave the elders 3 payments, June, July, and August payment. It wasn't August yet when we're going through that, but I didn't know what was going to happen in August. We went through it and we said, you know, payment might not be made in August, it might be June and July, but Crow Fair is coming up, school's starting, and that's a priority for us. We wanted that 3rd payment in there, and you know, we went back and forth on it, and we said, we stood our ground. We said, we don't know what's going to happen in August, we're going to keep it there. And that's where you guys have the 3 payments that were associated with that in August. The burial came up to 250,000 that we paid up to Bullis, and that was for services because part of our membership wasn't receiving the services, and they had loved ones go there, and that he was stopping services, so we had to get him paid. And then we paid 40,000 to Dolls. Some of the membership that's in prior billings, they go, their loved ones go to Dolls, and he was stopping services there. So we had that marked out, earmarked for that, and then we put 500,000 in Head Start to start the services there. With school starting, with reporting and everything coming in, is that they requested that we have 500,000 for part of that grant to show that we had that, and then they would be able to pay some debt with that was acquired to Head Start, and then it would kick off the school year. And then the Head Start in DC would see that, you know, we have that money there because we're in sanction right now. We don't get no upfront monies, everything is unreimbursable. We have to start the programs with our own money, general fund money, and then we get a payment from reimbursements. So we had that set aside so Head Start can go through the reimbursement process and school can start for the kids. And the trash, we wanted to do a trash payment, we talked to them, and we had that set aside for Republic payment. Another one was for the general fund employees. We set aside 300,000 for one payment for general fund employees. The federal funds were getting paid. The federal programs were getting paid intermittently. The general fund wasn't paid at that time for a long time. The employees there, and that was August. Crow Fair coming up, school coming up. You know, we thought it was in the best interest to try to help everybody there, regardless, is that, you know, everybody's Crow, and we wanted to kick that through there. That was our plan, but as of late, we haven't had expenditure reports from the Head Start monies. The only report we got from the Head Start CPA was 62,000 was expended from that 500,000. And the other 400,000 wasn't reported, was unaccounted for. 432,000 roughly, and when we asked how much was left in that account, it was $1,000 from 500,000. Head Start employees haven't been paid since May, We're well into October. School hasn't started for the young kids. And we set that money aside in good faith, thinking we were doing something good and we wanted to see them start, but that hasn't been the case. We have some of you from Pryor, some of you from Wildland know that shape and the state that your Lodgegrass, that your centers are in, and that money was supposed to be set aside to alleviate that, to start the programs off, and that wasn't accounted for. Out of that LBBP, the only thing we can account for that 1.8 is 900,000. That's almost half. That's exactly half is what we can account for. 762,000 to the elders, those 3 payments, and the payments for burial services is what we can account for. They send over an Word document saying what that executive paid for, but we wanted proof. We wanted statements. We wanted bank statements and expenditure reports from that account that it was set aside into, where it went. Because, we're halfway into October. October's almost over. School hasn't started. Employees haven't been paid since May, some of them farther out. And right now they're still working, and that's a program that benefits the whole reservation centers in different districts, and that's pretty important to us, and we wanted to get that account from them and wonder when we're going to start school for the kids. And we had a 1.8 million from Cloud Peak at the bottom. That wasn't brought through here, that wasn't expended. We have no expenditure report on that. We have no allocation for that. And that again passes through that threshold of how much money is received and where it has to come through. So when they receive money over a certain threshold, they have to come here and say, we're going to spend it on this, this, and this. So that way that we can go report to you guys, the membership, on where it's spent and how it's spent, and make a decision on there, because the districts tell us how to vote. They tell us what, you're our boss. And that wasn't brought through that same process. And we're asking for expenditure, a report on that, where that money went, how they spent it, because we know it's gone, but we like to know where. Flipping to the back. The legislature responded to this proposed budget by identifying a blanket 75% cut in tribal employment is an irresponsible reaction and not proper fiscal planning for the tribal budget and programs. Chairman Nodcrate has not responded to the legislature's repeated request to meet and negotiate a real budget. The legislature has not heard from the chairman since September 29th. The legislative budget is less than 6% of the entire Crow budget, and has always been in at least 300,000 under budget and has never asked for carryover. When I went back 4 or 5 years, some of my relatives in here can attest, I read everything. So I went back 4 or 5 years, even 6 years into the budgets that were proposed through here. The legislature has always been 300,000 or more under our proposed budget. We have budgets 2 million, 2.1, 2.2. We've always been 300,000 less, sometimes more. This last one, we were 30% under our budget. We had a budget of 2.1. We expended 1.3, and we've never gotten that carryover through all the years I went back. And some of the ones that have been here longer can attest that we've never had that carryover given to us. So on this next box going down, this is our plan for the budget. We want a real plan for current and future spending. And then FMA, that's there. That's a Responsible Fiscal Management Act that says and stipulates that we have reporting from all programs in a 425 format, that we have all of these different reportings on monies that are incoming, that we have, that we hold, that we have policy in place for penalties in place, and that's just good fiscal management. And the big thing we wanted to do was a third-party trust funds for elders' monies and education monies. We can budget for the elders' funds, but having it actually get there is another thing. Is that we've had budget every year for elders' funds, but actually allowing it to get there without being touched is a whole different thing. It's never. It's usually planning at the end of the month and trying to find monies and scraping around to get that elder fund payment done. And then a lot of times it's past due. You guys don't get it until 5 days, 10 days. I mean, June, July, you guys never got it. 60 days, 72 days passed from when it was due on those months. And that puts everybody in a bad way because the banks don't care, the bill collectors don't care that then they add fees onto this and it makes it harder, it digs a bigger hole, so the next fees that come up, by the time you break even, it's your three checks down and growing out of that. So putting the money, elders' money in a third party trust funds that can't be touched, that accrues interest, so that way we can plan for the future and have it set in there, and these parties will disperse the checks. That's the thing, is dispersing it so that way you guys get it on time, every time for the year. We've budgeted for the elders fund $2,649,000. It's in our budget, and you've seen it all over that. It was zeroed out. The budget, that second budget that came in, that it was added in there, that was one of our stipulations and the request with the legislature, is that we have a budget in there for the elders. It's a line item, it's there, and then we want to step further, we want to put it in this third-party trust, so that way you guys would get it every single time, and there wouldn't be a lapse, there wouldn't be any delay in the payments because a third party would be doing it. And then the other stipulation was the Crow Tribe maintain a balanced budget, that any monies come in, any new monies, the budget is amended and it's allocated, put in its proper place, so that way we can report to the membership on where it's at and what it was spent for, so there's no questions on when monies come in. And then tribe departments and programs be accountable and transparent, that they come in, they do the reporting, they let us know where they're at and all their specific programs, so that way we can report to the membership on what these programs are doing, how they can help the membership, where you can go for services and help and what they do and how much money they're spending and everything like that, because that's memberships, programs, and debts that they're transparent. New Government Accountability and Fiscal Responsibility Act with penalties for elected officials, boards, and department heads. We're pushing this new Government Accountability Act and responsibility. What happens is that when money is mismanaged, there's no penalties. There's nothing that happens with it. And what's always been the case is that the U.S. government doesn't care about tribal funds. They don't. As long as it's paid back, there's no penalties for it. And so you can mismanage, you can go through and back forth, and there's no penalties held to it. And we end up paying back all of our program debt, the handout that you guys received from Senator Goodluck. It shows the program debt, and part of that 4.8 is program debt. That's money that we have to pay back because we received it from the government, and now we have to pay that back. And different programs and grants, when we misuse the money, we end up having to pay back in the next budget. So every year it's compounding, and then we get into this slump where we have more program debt than we can provide services for. So that's where a lot of our services go. And for us, that wasn't right. We've been talking about it, accountability, transparency, everybody campaigns on it. We've had so many executive, legislative, actually campaign on that, but this body here is getting that act together. We're pushing it. We're going to be bringing that through so that way the membership and the people can see what penalties are associated with mismanagement. Because the less we have in mismanagement, the more we can offer to services, to elders, to everything else. But we have that huge program that's eating our general fund. And this is one of the ways to alleviate it. It ain't gonna help it. We're not gonna immediately get money, but down the line we would, and we have every program accountable. Membership, you guys know what services and options are out there for help, and we could make everybody accountable within each program, so you wouldn't have somebody that wasn't qualified to be there because they would have to do a report on it, and the management and the monies would have a trail and they would be accountable for it. And instead of just talking about it, the committee here, the senators, we've actually had that written up. We're going through it with it, and it's going to be a bill that will be presented. And that's our way of trying to hold everybody accountable and have transparency, because this is a lot of money, 10 million that we're having to pay back. And that 10 million, that could hold elders over for 3.5 years, just by itself. But, all these monies that are associated with it is, taken away from services. So that's our way of helping.
So, Frank, after that, so we'll open up the floor a little bit for some of the senators to comment on some of this. Then we'll get into the questions, then we can start answering the questions. So, I think that's a little bit where we're at, sitting at as far as the budget-wise. Now you know why we're not moving forward. Nothing's been passed because there's these questions that haven't been answered. And I know we talk about elders, and that was one of the main things we've been fighting for as a branch and the committee, is making sure you guys' payments stay there. But some of the questions we haven't been answered, and without the chairman at the table, there's no way we can move forward to negotiate and pass something right now. Unless in years past we've passed budgets that haven't been followed. If we did that this year, we'd be in the same situation. So it's got to stop sometime, we said. So that's why we're in the situation today, and we haven't had a budget yet. And like Frank mentioned, hey, this budget was supposed to be worked on all summer, and by this time we should have something passed, and we don't have to get into the same situation. Last year we went 3 months without a budget. This year, the day before deadline, they brought a budget. That's not the way we need to operate. We can't get nothing done. You expect to bring a budget the day before session? So I'm going to open up the floor right now to some of the senators to comment on, based on some of these points and comments, and we'll go from there. JR, comment on.
Push, picture alone. Louis, Louis and Dwight declaring a part. Picture alone, if was Kate, which introduced by Laga E. Dictionary below, Ox in the English Association, Laga Nila, and that constitution with 2001. Bawajilak Goy, Constitution Law. Well, then, Halloway, Fiscal Management Act, Kudajil, Ila, Aligali. Well, Miss Pen Guru, Kodasal, Goy, and the what by who, Laga Ekyo, Illy, was Iwai to bodies, these are Kusta, Illy, Salgway, Goy, Ipchuai. Again, July, Daiji Vagala budget could Alu, Alu, like go budget good. October 18th, good Alu, budget good. The Washo does it, yo. Ikka kyllä pagi vidat, että vaikka ei konille kukaan itsikäisessä. Mutta siukka nää itse on mun. Chỉ học sẽ luôn tôi biết cái là mà lấy đi được bao giờ sẽ ở đâu bài bài gì mình là được Google gọi là cái na bây giờ cái chỉ secure đó bao bao nhiêu casu bao nhiêu casu đi qua you know down the line everything must go down cuts cái đều mà tao yêu nó bây giờ cái có biết sao the elders are there, and if we was up, so John was going to look at the, you know, we small out good children, well, they know, elders, education, do then a separate account, but I was out, you know, or John will do it when he's good set. Watch for a non good. You could be a you know, and my whole. Balletjoe joke, alho, ballelastic, na ballelastic, balletjoe joke, brother, who saw Ballet, a now, who accountability, good Mr. Bull. Then I know we are business good, politics good, by you, 2 years, by the week, some large, carpet type, she could and all make a loose, could have started, but now, tapi setahun mutasyik dan isu bahawa jadi na chairman ban or chairman OPCA boleh chairman allow tak tahu lah jadi itu apa kemana kau sektor na separating politics from business boleh you boleh lain terus what adat tak dulu tu kau cukup pay tak kau tu jadi lagi na Frank DJ numbers terlalu Malas itu awak charge, nanti awak mesti beli tu mesti. Di sini cekik juga kaya, panggil gosal, sarji or Kale Hawks. Dan awak di polisi dah keluar tu, jadi kita policy session. From here on, you know, every quarterly session, it'd be good for elders to come like this, and that we talk to them, not only for the budget right now, for theirs, but, you know, there are constituents in Balewali de Steel. While we make them cook and good Balewali, like Balewali, it's cheap, but Balewali take. Take, when I say, was I should you do it. Some Monday, they get was a, and then, daylight, John Paul's Ballet Hula. Need the law created for fraud and embezzlement, and the law say no more she can. But tell us the jail and give for that job. My colleagues say, look, you must what you sell. But let's wait, you as I'm saying, you take your BY, etc. And then it's equal out. Ballet one you say too. In the brand and the quality is running skitching, the quality usual. You could eat too. Who does your emotional week, the test massage, and could I say, the quality you say too. You know, Bakalia, while it's all because we could say with the peaches that was jail to you. And again, no, in the Frank, I see issue. The questions that I did not Frank out for to Senators Diego, oh.
Hold on. So, senators, if you guys want to make a comment, now's the time. Then we'll take questions after that. Anybody? One once? Comments? Bonito? Senator Brown?
John Paul, Kalgolasi, must give it John Paul. Operate Maria Horis, home of the law. And Julio, no one used to give it. All of us might be great well shooting the book paint. Red all used to get walls and those book. Bawah way, look. Pick up couldn't need come he used to not all in. Put the pick up baby. Not charge you will get. You one of the choose guys. Sabi, because see no reason. Sabi juolikin, vaikka Rainille se on. Se puri käyn kone. Aku sepeda balak betul yksi mikä. Jadi nää, minua juomas kuitenkin ei saksu, se vaskoi ekin, vaskoi sekin iso vapakka, ekin vaattu isoa hiitä, srad lui vaskulassa. Jön ilauko, vilko, eikä ole valakut suhui, vaikkade, agada, kumat missu gaga srad. Skakkanen, shivsken buk. How come there's no school? I want to go to school. I want to get in a bus and go over there. I went over there and there's no teachers over there. Yesterday I go. Dale had General Reed, look, Salford, but from all played, swallowed, stimulated. Bill Mecho, he got to go to school. Because 4 weeks that way was still. I got to go to Khrushchev, go to cross country, then he got to go to they would play on football, probably they would play. But 6 8 canal in me while they swallowed it. We can't go to no guys, follow that. Nay, Clanny, the open touch, but show it by day. Yesterday, one might charge it, and Tank, they go school is a whole. Lecture, Holy Saway, white come, blue bus, blue cabin. They was out the block to Lichy Master. You go in near which what charge cook all well to get cook Lucas are it guys really almost. Oh, the morning, anything to say? Okay, half a say of John Paul away must they build the big home.
Tony, senators, any more comments from the body? Alright, now we'll go to the questions. Tom, Benito's Mike Anderson, so take some questions from the elders.
Yeah, hey, whatever. Damn right.
You say, oh, wow, you got a safety massage for me. Okay, next one to go back. Go we hit it. Okay, you are big, but she got your Frank. A cook it to you. I was put up, play cook. Hey, I know, my vagina, Lloyd, couldn't call it. And now she got the Benito Luca beach club, we go for you. Hey, I'm glad you brought all them points. Okay, you are big. Seed funds, where you leave. Anybody in here know about the seed funds? I know you do, Frank, because I always talk to you about it. Seed funds was all we'll get it called. Think what they do is, used to legislators, they're not trouble dollars. It's money that's inherited. To you, indirect costs will go. They know how indirect costs, but that's how it's not even on here. Am I right?
No, it's not on there.
See, now you don't even have a budget. America, I talked to Frank and Lloyd. What happened to the Conoco's $10 million? So, do you know how it's spent? So expenditure report dog. What happened to the spill at Soap Creek money? What happened to the money on petroleum tax? You don't even know. It's on the vehicle, petroleum tax that goes to every year. It's almost $1 million. So what happened to that money? If you guys FMA law, what are you guys going to do about it? That's my question. You know, you talk about a lot of things here, but what are we going to do? Okay. Big with the Hoobers. But the walk out, why did what Paul looked up? Big George is the sheep, it must be married, big sheep. I think that's going back to back in the 60s when my brother Dwight Stewart used to live with us and went to school. That's how close we were. Okay, receivership, same old he doesn't know anything about it. he wasn't around, he was back in Arizona. Newton, you know. Y'all guys not here with this trip, now we get UFOs. Okay, big yo-yos. And the Oasis, you don't know what happened then. I mean, I got one of these too much. Kamalero solo. The Mazal said, I know about. But you all got his short W, I got a plan, good and new. But I think we're going to go back to last year again. I think Yaka from a $75 to $95 million empire of Darren Oak Cloud in the previous administration's built. Now we're down to about 33 million, 25 million. Not 25 million today, look how much of that is your seed fund. So from almost from a $3 to $4 million seed fund program, you're probably down to about 800,000. It all depends what's the percentage. 26, I think when we left office it was 26? 23%. So, okay, right?
And that was the question we had on the IDC. You know, you're talking about the seed fund. And what we got from there was a 20% umbrella across all programs. So, you know, it's just words until you see it and you hear it from the horse's mouth. So what we did was we were talking with OST, we have a meeting with all the BIA, all that, to get a program. We requested that for each individual program's percentage, because if we're negotiating that 20% on the umbrella, how much are we losing out on? That's a lot of money on that percent. What was before was 23%. Last year, some of them were at, the only one I know of is CCRO, which was at 24%. There's individual percentage on these programs that the tribe would charge to house and facilitate these programs, and that money goes back into the tribe. And then they can use that. That's what they charge these programs. But a 20% umbrella across the whole board is pretty much unheard of. You can negotiate on each program individually. And you're talking about, you know, what are we going to do if we're going to be in the same boat as last year? And like Senator Alden said, you know, last year we never had a budget. It came through we had a budget ready, everything was there, they never, you know, didn't come to the table, nothing was signed all the way up into December. Then it was signed around December 15th. And under protest. But signing under protest is still signing. And then, but following it is another story. That's why we're getting into the government account with penalties for elected officials, boards, and department heads. Working with our legal Thor, is that there has to be some accountability for that. We always talk about it, but in actuality, there is no accountability. There's nothing that comes through with it. And so the legislature here wanted to, you know, put that ahead in the forefront and setting up these third party so that the elders get their money, you know, from a third party that we bypass, and it comes directly and it's on time every time. So that's the plans that we're in here for that. And you know, just like I said, we talked to OSD, we're talking to OIG, we're talking to BOR, BIA, all the parties associated with that. And they're all aware that we have no budget. All the parties included are aware that there's no budget, and that drawdowns will not come out from different departments. Interior departments will not come down without a budget. You know, we made that clear this year. I wasn't finance chair last year, and I'm not sure if it was made clear to all the parties intended last year, but we sent out a letter this year on the 29th, and we let them all know, so that way expenditures will not be made outside of the budget, because that's against the law.
You said you were going to protect the elders. My grandson is the power manager for Crow Fair. Okay, and there's no money budgeted for. I think most of the elders here would look at that way. Like that's one of the things that we need to work on too, I guess, you know. Oh.
Questions over here this time? We got a couple, I guess.
Hey, all right, okay.
Hey, Brandon, to leave.
Joka salkari. Savio matchaa sinä. Mistä jos savio? Parahu neuvokko kanna kutaisi soutta. Reera rivaisuuksia. Jaki kausi kun vietsä kukkar pottai. Vaimisteri. Ikö tesis paralit tämän viikon. Paus kotpäivää käke. Siinä rakkuun kiekkotyökämistä kun suosa huttaa. Soren sovun napattua, what the hell are they at? That's all we paid him. Se tuko. Kai voi olla paremmin kuin. Näkee pateteeksi yhteiskunnassa. Rakkuu ja kaalka mokkuulusta, vaikka karaita itsejusta, että kotessa aina kansallisku hupia sustiitsiin. Saatiin reera before talking. A parsa eläksi jossakin ainakin ja peli. Riiviiksi suhteen. Vähän puhutaan, että pyyset vallikättä kauan. Minä odotan kotsat vallikättä, että se tuli isparusta kitsellä kauan tuli. Tebe, eikö saas kuusen jo? Let's say draw. Turn off pressure go to a house. Jesus, I have to say crap. Pidä pappaus. Pidä kodit tulee.
Senators Marlene Stewart, Wyola Gulgawo, Apilgay Sasabel. Senators Dilun Diwana Meu, Yaga, Budget Kadalaga, Iwakiasak, the Kajitasak chairman, he doesn't know how to get that budget passed. The whole Crow Nation, but he heard everybody, even you senators, paychecks down at how much longer are you gonna deal with that? Havi Machad, Head Start, Mohammed, these other tribes, Bareli Kut, Havi Machad, Dilu, Diwajel, you got the authority to suspend this chairman. He is not doing a good job. Let's do. And how long is it gonna take him to finally bring that budget and have it, do it right? Could our staff have a child, the contracts of what did they do? They never done anything. And then we're a big old laughing stock. We don't even have a jail. My God. Of sorrow, yeah, they had a lot of pride. You know, I bet everybody just looks down on us. There's no money. Employment, Kudasawi, 92%. This is really bad. But as senators, you got the authority to suspend that chairman, even for the elders not getting their check. Just on that alone, you could suspend him. On the budget, you could suspend him on the budget too. In our Crow Constitution, there's laws in there. It tells you how to suspend a chairman. Akashi. Now you go back into those constitutions and see what the procedures are to suspend that idiot. I have no respect for that man. Absalo ke awan tawalea ilak. Him deal with you. Do something. You got that right to do it. Even if you have a closed meeting, write a bill. By golly, suspend him. Where is he right now? I heard he's down here in Wyoming. He should be in here right now listening to everybody. Balewa change. That's all I gotta say.
Hold on. Art, I think we got one more over here.
Thank you, Senators. Good morning. I've been working with Frank for quite a while over this situation that we're in. And, you know, you go back to the Constitution, it states in there, mismanage. You already mismanage water resources money. That's giving you the opportunity to suspend it. Most of you people don't understand your Constitution. That's why it's a law. Also, federal law is the Elder Fund, 103-444. That's a federal law that he brings. Why can't we put it in a separate account? We keep talking about that. We tell Franklin, put it in a different account. Head Start, put that in a different account. And one night, I was in bed, 11 o'clock at night, and AJ came over and said, pray for me. I said, okay, I'll pray for you. And he stood back and scratched his head and he said, I didn't do anything wrong. And I said, look on my desk. Everything you did is on my desk. What happened to that $38 million that was left by the previous administration? What happened to the Crow Fair money, that $150,000 that was given to the Crow tribe? What happened to that $600,000? I said, I can go on and on. I said, I don't sit back. I do my homework. Just like I came in here, got after you guys. I said, you don't work for the legislators, or you don't work for the executive. You work for these people. That's why we elected you. You got to do what you're told. You're our voice. Every one of you. You get up here and because you're related to that guy, you're related to that. Things that come before you, you disapprove it. You're not voting on it. They have good ideas. Why can't you guys get together and have one set mind and do what you're told? Or do what you want to do? You got a legal aid here. You got a legal officer. If you need advice, ask him. That's what he's getting paid for. And I'd like to ask one question. What happened to that credit card? $1.6 million that AJ spent on his credit card. And I told my grandson, I said, get that credit card away from him. The Crow tribe never authorized a credit card. The Crow tribe never authorized to buy vehicles. Way back in the Anderson Reelberg time, we passed a resolution, 1971. Any tribal official cannot purchase a vehicle. That's still a law. That's what the Crow people want at that time. Why can't we do that today? We're talking about the budget. Okay, where's the money coming from? Where's that $500,000 gone? Where's that $6,500 of Buffalo? That's mismanagement under Title 18. That's a Crow tribal asset. Am I right?
It's an asset.
See, that's a federal law he broke. Why can't you pass a resolution condemning AJ? He's my grandson, but he's not doing his job. So I want to take this opportunity to thank all you senators for fighting, and we're behind you. So thanks a lot, and I'm going to the VA hospital, so I gotta leave.
Hello, Mark. Does anyone want to respond on comments he made, or just we'll go on to the next question?
Lenla Armichi, Balilla Chilu, Baptacha, Bauxemin Hua, Chilak Saga, Bachokak, Polutokao, Bashpasau, Chukao, Amar Chish, Pukauria, Lam, Kilobridge, from UI side, like a be a lot of Alabua, a live joke sort, Abika, Wabika took. Bala, Bali, Pashpabito Manyo, Yukosuk. Ilensi case, what are they there for? Sabi, Ilen, Ivish Baliakar, Ivish Jir, Sapeki, Absalo, Ish Balao, Yes, so. Len officials Kodesh Manyo, Parachtika, Alichish Topitala, Nayeti Majitala Kisu. El Sabi Hada, Sawi like a cola. Spiu ke ham Tadeo, Lim Salo ke Tadeo. Heta Kupawidai Musak. Lemas Chilu is a Kobe Sak. I'll look. They bombed officials Kodesh whenever they get in trouble. I had a mule. It has happened from administration to administration. There's a group of people that follow each administration. Each showed out the people, and they give bad advice. They knew it. Beer what I let Bobby Wagat, who give no abestil seja home for what you're doing for us. Bamyo, Bashpagadwa, Bashpahalio, come out to okay. Last Christmas Kodesh, Bawalam, Tamil took, Dihaku so much, no one knows 7. That money is there allocated for you. I'm going to look one after the other. Look, Tela, Balen by Kuduk, you are just Jayoku, you are Sapepo. Could they be wrong? Better well, if you got a check, you go for that day. But they hired, thank you. And that's been almost a year. And Big Bush Ballet, it goes in all direction every week. You all go set related, Balawak. You could like it. Lejo give what charging. You what you got it could Bakalichish to work out. No, I best you say, oh my.
Oh, Sandra. Yep.
While ago, Carl Brush, I got even work because I work in the social service, and it's so good to hear what's going on. And Mauli Lati and Mauli Jury Sagi for the Baluich getting something, but we don't know what's going on. And Basal said, "You were showing out a good by you." Now, was a car in Lahish for one day for you to out to get good by him. Basal said, "You know, Mawadu can make sure that Palako, which is probably the Kumachush that Bani Kanadi for the Kim, for that, and he says, a home, Gamani was Ichila, like he got a home of him. He like a concerned major, it's just everything. Karaji can hit back pay good short-term back pay good aku chisses kupio ko eoshiwe because bawa luai pinaga him can kala back pay kala samira kan chissa ka it still I'm honored to have a job that I go every day to do what I have to do for the community of Waiala and doing the best I can for them. And Alago with VADR for Kudasar, no matter what, even though I don't get my check, I'm there and doing the best I can for them. And it could, where I work, for a spark, they need could, and I really love my job and that's why I'm there. And people really need that place where I'm working at. And every district has that place. It's called Family Preservation. And need Kurup Spark. In a time like this, they come and get things from where we work. And Bagon Kushkalada, because I'm all home back pay out, just I thank God that that Family Preservation is there, that you will be able to give out things to them. Even though I don't get paid, I still go to work and do my job for the community and other people from the outside. And that we're all here together and that we're standing here and wanting to do the best we can for the tribe. And that's what we should do. And stay home that we're all here. God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you for the
Before we recognize John Paul.
Budget career, number senior money, and school, Bagade, Majimon. Typically, Koi, book. Again, another basic solution. That out, man. It's all Madrid. But they get, you don't have no money to start with. How can you hire people, all the people, without any money? Amale, what I have you career takes a little. Again, and allow it to go. You talk to that, so keep it up. We need, like that guy said, we need laws. I talked to the OIG. I prosecuted this guy. He went back to the tribe, worked for the tribe together. We need laws on embezzlement. We don't have no laws ever since Cold Tribe started. And how can you do anything to the person if he steals money? All you gotta do is pat him in the back, let him do it again. There's no accountability. Nothing's there. Hey, I'll give you for that. We have our, what you call it? We need to stop and think about this law. You guys can create a law. Alright, we can present the law to you, look at it. Okay, I told him that you have to let everybody go. Because this fellow, he ain't got no money to hire anybody. But he didn't listen. He listened to some people. Hey, Dick, and room don't go to the house. Come on, try to like you know, we gotta help each other. Even take DC, take Carrier Interior, TV1, you close a bunch of CVs. You know, this area director, like superintendent, where you go? Where's he at? To try it. We shouldn't be hiring these people like that. We shouldn't be hiring these people that are stealing money. You legislate, we put you in there to make laws. All right, why don't you create a law to help the tribe on embezzlement, fraud. I gave away to look at Chairman Glenn Mikey, the steal all over, but we don't have nothing here. It's been like this for I don't know how long. And so you guys are doing a good job, but you guys should create a law now. You take the retirement, you veto that, you can ask for every man vote, like we did to those other stuff that we wouldn't vote for. Put that, you can do it. People, all these guys will follow you. If you do it and get this law in there and start prosecuting these people, have accountability from these people that are hired. They're just sitting there not doing anything. They get high price money. Yeah, I worked for a federal program for 34 years. And I worked for one chairman, but I quit. I'm not gonna work. The money that I got, I'm able to pay my bills. And my God, I got what to do. These kids are trying to go to school. You got what's called over. You got attorneys, private attorneys. All right, why don't you create a law and present it to the tribe and see what they think about it? But we need a law in the tribe. We don't have nothing to protect ourselves. And that's what I gotta say, that there's a lot of people that want to know where our money went to, what's going on. Yeah, AJ, I don't know who he's listening to, but he's in a bind right now. He shouldn't be listening to the public. You guys, AJ, and you guys, and the vice chairman, vice secretary, where they at? They should be here just like that guy. We pay them a lot of money, but they're not working. They're not doing their job. They're off someplace else. But they still get paid on payday. But I think that the United need to sit down and create something to protect the Crow tribe as a whole. We don't have no law to do that.
The last update, we're almost there. We keep saying that. I think it's been going on for previous administration, and personally, me sitting up here, or sitting as a representative, I sat through 4 chairmans. Just to give a little bit of background, I sat through, this is my 4th chairman sitting here. And the way we've functioned as a tribe has always been the same. It's using those federal dollars, and eventually we call it commingling to get by. And the ship was eventually going to crash. And Noaba, Kolegosh, we're here to, the ship finally crashed. We're to rock bottom line just because of all that pushing the federal funds and using them for general funds. So now today we want to make those laws in place where we separate those funds. We don't have to move in that direction now. Maybe this is what it took to get to this point. We're here. We're rock bottom, we say. So now we're here to this task to try to fix it and build a foundation again to start moving in that direction. We know we got some flaws. We've got all these issues that we haven't addressed in this current budget. And if we sit here and pass the budget again, we're not doing our jobs. We're held accountable for not doing our jobs. And like I said, that's the reason we wanted to bring the elders in today, is explain to why we're not having no budget and why we disagree on this side on the current proposals. Hey, this branch is not the problem, I say. The legislative branch hasn't overspent our monies. We've always gone underfunded. We've never mismanaged our monies in this branch, but the blame somehow eventually comes to us. That's one point I wanted to make. We haven't went on travel for 2 years in here. I haven't went on travel for 2-3 years in here. But the blame always comes our way. That's one point I wanted to make. And I'm pretty sure some of these senators have some comments to those issues. Bringing in the elders and explaining to them, maybe we should do this every month. Totally, bring in the elders every month. There's no more 107. That way we can get the word out. And that's an idea that, hey, let's do this every month. At least we get the communication. That's bottom line too, is communication. And like I said, executive should be here. If elders were a priority, they would have been here negotiating all week with us, and we'd have a budget today, but there's no one to negotiate with, sit at the table with.
I want to commend you gentlemen for standing up today and proposing that big body elder fund. I don't think you need to stop there. In that chairman, go there, he's on a spending spree. Bale aspiri aline. Head Start alagul, pass me will. While there are success, no albeshori, Baha Field Sami. Instead, you could maybe you need to set that up into a special fund too. Everything else, because what little he gets, he spends it on his own. And Khalid, that's not right.
Alagul Mahawasho, Bagade, is Asagato Bona, Ajay, Giza, Ulaji, Bugol, that's not right, it's a health issue. And because it shows, Sagir. It needs to be patrolled some way because Wyoming, Duke Wyoming, Mahawasho. Last year, began Newton's truckload going away every other week from Malaysia to Glassgrass to Squabula. Real Malaysia to him is doing boot here. And that's not right. They need to do something. Now, I had started now, when I was working on the Cheyenne Reservation, by God, they was removed. You know that teach are going to check you look, we can't run the buses with that's the only meal they get. He's dead even when they get a little tired. Well, they want to treat it just like that. So we need to set something up so that we protect our kids, our elders. Chairman sure as hell isn't doing that. Wajigi tell you. I commend you gentlemen for sticking up to your grounds. Now, I left from day one, Brandon, another group. Budget group, he stood his ground. I want to thank you for that, Brandon. But they want to charge you either. Hey, go on and see. The Amadi left from Egypt cookie. And they're again the chairman, so being boundary that he's not listening to anybody. Thank you.
I won't take long. When we left with Chairman Okayo, that was it. When was that? December 2nd? The audit for fiscal year 2015 was completed and submitted. And after we left, there was 3 months. After the fiscal year ends on September 30th, the accountants have 3 months to December to submit their reports to the federal funding agencies, and that's in the form of that SF 425. That's a very important report. And I don't think since we left, none of it was ever submitted. And to this day, I don't think the administration is even accountable to submitting those audits. You need to have an audit, especially when we left. A new circular came out, and it was the OMB Super Circular book. If you remember that, I went to training for that just so I can do my job. I don't even know when the last audit was submitted. As the 700,000 for Head Start that year, did you already pass that? I don't know. But Head Start has always been a reimbursable. It was, the money was never advanced. Kutaja, that, AML, and Marvin, I think CCR, they were all reimbursables. And that never changed. So I don't know why, if they had spent the money properly, they shouldn't have a problem with any reimbursements. And that came from another funding agency. BIA programs, so it's another system that you work with ASAP. Every contract, every federal contract already has a budget. It's not approved if there's no budget. It already has a listing of positions, a listing of their overhead. And why they couldn't comply with those, I don't understand. Why there's so many non-compliances. Who is the CPA? But I don't know. Do any of you know? I don't. We would like to know. We want that person to be accountable to us. Right? Who is it?
Dennis Adams with Joseph Eve and Woodley.
That Joseph Eves was an auditor when we were there. When did he become a CPA? I think that's conflict of interest, maybe. I don't know. You have legal here. He can answer to that, but I would think that would be a conflict of interest. In that super circular, it mentions that conflict of interest in there. It was a new addition to the previous circulars. So I think that's, if he's earning that much money, he should be here to answer to our questions. I don't know who this Friedman is, or this lady named Wallaby, but I was told that they have credit cards, tribal credit cards, and they max it every month, and they're the only ones that have it. I was told by one executive official that they took his away and he never got it back. But those two, they're very privileged, whoever they are. I think they should be here to answer to our questions too. I don't know what they do. This Friedman is supposed to be a lawyer that wrote the contract for the AI. What was it, the AIC? That was a bunch of bullshit too, right? Big boss say, but you know, I read. If I don't know something, I want to know it. Daylight, the 1.8 million from Cloud Peak, was it trust monies, or was it money that went directly to the Crow tribe? Why? Look, we want to know. Because most of these coal contracts are trust monies. They go directly to the BIA. But we don't know. And I think we have a right to know. Taylor. Yes. I was writing these down as I was going along. The 107, it was passed in 1994. It was a settlement agreement, and it was approved back in 1994. And it was signed, the agreement was signed by Madam Chairman, Karen Omishto. Koteregon signed the agreement. In there is where the elder payments are supposed to get their elder payments, the 107 committee. Anyway, there's a few other items. After that was passed in 1994, the first payment went to the Crow tribe in 1996, the fiscal year. Every fiscal year after that, that money is available to be transferred. It's already guaranteed. And all the tribe needs is a budget, a plan and a budget. And that money is always available at the beginning of the fiscal year. Sabi, we're almost to the end of October. Why that money isn't paid to us? It's poor management, no accountability. Why can't we impeach her? You know, I think that's what I want. Halik, Amalia, we can't stay back and be silent anymore. Something has to be done. Hilagi, Marlene Shave, he can't be. I remember one time, but it was under the old constitution. We impeached the chairman, remember? For not showing up for council. That was it. Gosh, again, all the mismanagement. We need to start something. The FMA, is a start. We need to do more. We need him here to answer to us. Look up. Khalid Ahmadiyya. He's only been in there how long? Too long. It's about time we stop it. Big old guy job. We survive on our fixed income. That's job. Most of us. We have Social Security. Some of us are receiving retirement. We're our kids and our grandkids, bankers, because there's no unemployment out there. There's nothing. No unemployment. Bahamik. There's nothing. And we need to either suspend or impeach would be better. Whatever it takes, I think we need to do, do something.
Frank, you want to comment on,
Okay, can I say one more thing and then I'll quit? Early after AJ got in, I personally kind of gave him 1 year. I'm surprised he lasted this long, because when we were there, he didn't like us in finance. He didn't like any of us. And I know if we stayed, I knew he would have fired us. And I didn't want that on my record. When we heard of Miriam Smith being there, not being accountable to our money, whoever Miriam Smith is, I would like to meet her. I never saw her. I've never met her. I think she has a lot to do with this mismanagement. Do you post that Miriam Smith? But not too long after that was when we started a petition to remove AJ. But some people were reluctant. They were scared because they thought that had that small hope of being hired, maybe. But we got over, 1,500? We got over 1,500 signatures that time. But it wasn't enough because somebody in the secretary's office gave us a calculated number of about, 2,300 signatures? I don't know how we got that. But we started that. And we got a lot of signatures that time. And some people that weren't afraid to show their faces came and signed, and we really pursued it. But it didn't fall through. We tried. Now it's up to you to try, all you legislatures. That's why you're here. You need to be accountable to us now.
Frank, you want to explain that 107 draft that we handed out?
Alright, Clarice. On this graph I gave you guys, if you guys need copies, you can come and get it. We have copies available for you. And, just in that particular, with percentages and everything in there. 107 generates a lot of money. It does. It generates. I mean, at its highest time, I mean, we went back a couple of years. 2006, it generated $4.8 million. And today, because of interest rates and then dropping of the interest rates is around 2%. At that time, it was like a 6, 7, 8. Because of the housing market crash, it's invested. We're accruing the interest. That was the final stipulation on there, where that 85 million, we can only use the interest, and it's a lot, 2.5. But every year, what we get in there is about 700,000 out of that 2.5. 700,000 from that, because we have notes on it. We got loans. How many years back we're still paying on those loans? 96. Right now, with I'll let Thor explain those notes that are available on that and how much we're paying on those a year for our program debt. Go ahead, Thor.
Thank you, Senator. We have 8 debt instruments out against the tribe. 8 debt instruments, and that's what's eating up your budget. I don't remember the exact amount of debt service, but it's millions. We can get the number for you. And you have 3 instruments that are at First Interstate. You have 2 instruments that are with the USDA. They're very low. Those are not really an issue. You have an instrument from Shakopee Nation against your casino, which hasn't been open for months and months, so that's probably a default. And you have a really, really large bond issuance from 1997, and you're paying a lot of money for that. So you have all these notes out there that we are looking at, and we are gathering all the paper. We've had to go everywhere to gather all the instruments, and we're looking at some way to bring that debt service down to something reasonable through whatever means, forgiveness, consolidation, whatever we can do. We're trying to find a way to bring that debt down because you're paying millions and millions. So all your funds from the 107th and the LBB, they're already earmarked because previous administrations and such have taken those funds and just said, oh, we'll put it against a note. And that's the collateral. So the OST is taking money out of your fund and paying directly to the banks. You're not even seeing it. It doesn't even go through your general fund. And that's just money that's not working for you. That's your money, it's not working for you. So my bosses are working very, very hard to try to get that debt service down to something where we can at least get our arms around it, and so we can have a budget going forward. And there's details that are tedious in this stuff, but they're very necessary. We're just trying to figure out how to fix that so that the tribe can be properly footed going forward.
And with that, out of that is around 1.7 is what we're paying in debt on this, the notes that are tied to the 107. And right now, in here, the body, we're looking at other avenues that we can do to consolidate. Those interest rates are, right now at Shakopee, we're at 8% because we're in 8.5% on that loan because we're probably default. We haven't been paid for 6 months, 8 months, 8. And, that interest rate climbs. These other ones that we're paying on, that, it's eating up $2-3 million, around there. So that $3 million, what we're trying to do is, and the terms are long, the interest rate's long, we're paying a lot more for $19 million in debt. We're probably paying a lot more. So, and that's where our 107 is going. So what we're doing in here is to try to package it up, get a small interest rate on it, and that way we're taking our terms way down, taking everything way down, and we're going to try to free up, not just monies, but just free up the 107 so it can be used where it's supposed to be. That 2.5 a year, that's a lot of money. That's can cover about 80% of the other fund for the year. And that could be set aside in that separate trust to be paid for that. But because of, before those notes, 96, 97, all these different notes that are tied to these is why we don't have that. The amount that's left over is about 600,000, 700,000 per year. And, that's just what it is. And that's what we have to do to, we're going and finding ways and sending it over there and trying to, go through that. This FMA, we're talking about the FMA, they've seen it. We showed them a draft, whether it's if we have to do it by CLB, we said we would. But we need something to be accountable. That's not just one branch. That's not just two branches. All branches need to be accountable. Everybody has to be at the same page. We don't get money it's delegated to us. We don't get a whole budget all at once. We never have. And there's no true separation because at the end of the day, we're still over there getting a check from them. And the first budget, we were all in one. We were treated like a department. We're not a department. They didn't hire me. You guys did. And that's why one of the reasons we didn't want to do that was because we're not a department. We're a branch. We have our own authorities and powers associated with that given to us by the Constitution. So with that, we send it back. That was one of the reasons. You have all the reasons for this budget here. Why we want more answers for you guys, because it would be negligent and it would be just bad decisions if we just pass it on what they have, because we don't really know the IDC rate. We don't know where all this money went. We didn't spend this money. You guys didn't spend this money. So why should we be paying on stuff that we never spent? Why should we go until we find out in the details? None of us have credit cards here. We never have. We're going through. That's the delegations that we want. We want these things associated with us, so that way we can provide to you those information. You have questions. Districts have questions, and that's why we have district meetings. We go through, but before we, with our district, we didn't want to present a crap budget. That's just negligent. So we wanted to have our budget associated, everything there, all the numbers right. And, like Clarice, Loretta, you guys know me, I'm numbers, paper, black and white. I don't believe in people until they can tell me all they want, but until I see it on paper coming from the right authorities, we don't believe it. So with that is why we didn't have a budget, because we can throw it in there and say, okay, the elders are getting this much, but actually getting to it, there's nothing in there. They can move it around. Last year, we had 3 million there, we had 2.1 here, but what we actually got was way, way less. So, everything, and they're saying legislatures aren't approving the budget. Well, where's all these monies that belong to the Crow tribe, the Crow people? Where's this 500K in trust responsibility, trust assets, land? That's the same as Buffalo. They're all in the same group. They're not a fishing game. They're a trust asset. Where's this? Where's this? Where's this? Where's this? And for us to just pass it would be negligent and irresponsible as to your guys' trust assets. So with that, that's why we said, bring us something good, bring us something right. The body said that they wouldn't stand for it. In previous years, we'd have a breakdown of every line item, everything that would go through, where it was going, what it was spent for, who was hired on it, all of the above. We haven't got that on this budget. 53 programs across the tribe. They all had 12,272 in there. No narratives. Just across all of them, some of them non-existent. Credit, home services, all these different stuff. And it was just, everybody that does Excel knows you can just drag that across and it'll copy across 53 cells. And that's what it was, across 53 different. And that's not doing your job. That's their job, to bring a budget that's proper, that's balanced, and they never did. That first budget was, and these people wouldn't stand for it, because if we brought it to you, you guys would cuss us out. They'd say, what is this? This is junk. And that's where it was at. So these are the questions you guys have, and I hope I answered them. And the body here, we're open. You're more than welcome to come in here. You have questions, I'm always outside. And all the senators are the same way. It's not just our districts, but we're here for the Crow people. And by going through this, it would be negligent for us to do this. We want answers, and we want to be able to give you guys answers on where this went. And it's always open. We're always here, and we're in the same boat. we're not getting paid either. But like Pat said, we never went on travel for 2 years, 3 years. We haven't had that. They don't pay for our gas coming in. The ones coming from Wyola, long ways, that's out of theirs. They come in every day on that. So, you know, we're always here. The ones that aren't here right now are at a meeting with DEMD over at Westmoreland. We had another meeting with them over our Westmoreland payments, where it's supposed to get 2.5. As you know, they went into bankruptcy, and they're going through there. And for them to tell me, oh, it's okay, you know, we're gonna get you guys paid. Until I seen it on paper, I don't believe it. So with the body, we asked our legal to check into that and call that firm handling that. Number one on the chopping block was ProTrack. And we went through there, we sent it, called executive. No, they said it was okay. I said, no, it's not. It's on here. You're number one on there. It's paid to the U.S. government. So we called BIA, said, get on your job. Send a lawyer over there and tell them that you pay us first. I said, yeah, they'll wash away $2.5 million. They want to pay that less at the last end of the deal. But we were number one on there, and we went through. We're going through that banco, and we told BIA, do your trust responsibility, do your job for us, and go over there and get our money. But at the same time, you know, we had to find that out for them. We had to go through. So we're doing our job for you guys. So if I haven't answered your questions, just ask me anytime. I'm always around. Senators are here, and that's one of the reasons we're not going through this budget. CPAs haven't been here. Chairman hasn't been here. We only had him here once, the 29th, the very day of the ending, and he didn't bring a CPA at that time. And Senator Grovon, Senator Goodluck, all the other ones in here, they said we need the CPA here. And you know, that's what it's always been. We have always had the CPA here. We've always had the lawyers here, and that was a process. We never got that process, so that's where we're at. Thank you.
Thank you. I know we've, like I said, they're bringing lunch. We'll take a couple more comments and questions. Then they're going to bring lunch for you guys, so that way I know some of them probably haven't had breakfast, getting hungry. So let's take a couple more questions, and we'll get some lunch here. I know some of us got to get to Billings for another meeting also. So.
Trashก็ได้พร้อมคนก็สาจะซาบิลันฟิลก็ได้มีว่าผมสาวสาวเอาไปถักก็ดูดิชิเกอแต่เด็กในวัยชิเกมาอีกชิเกสุดถ้าก็มาว่าจะดูดิดีสตาร์ทสันติก็ได้ว่าก็ได้ announce ก็ได้ว่าจะสตาร์ทไทยเรียกฮูลาบีดิสติกएक नेपाल की युवा टॉक्स स्मोक प्रोडक्ट पार्टी हम युवा पाव था भी congregation ने युवा के याके युवा के पाव ये पार्टी युवा पाव के सावन फेरी एक पाव के इमरान के ओगरे ने शिकोरे कोगोन जाम कोडुर अलीफ के दिशा शिकोरे के कोगा.
Maybe I'll try to hit a little bit on some of the trash issues, but Tom, I know you've been really active on that with the trash issues in Lodge Grass. But currently under his proposal, there was nothing to address trash. That's why the branch kind of brought the issue up too. Is hey, there's within this budget, what are you going to do about the trash issue? We got like for Big Crow, Lodge Grass. They set them on fire, and even every time they set those dumpsters on fire, it's $1,000 charge again to the tribe. So I think people are just getting tired of seeing it piling up, so they do eventually light it on fire. I know it was housing column that smoke, that toxic smoke that sets in that whole housings, and that's not good. So that's why we're trying to address this in this budget, where we can fund with some money so they can do something. And landfill, that are kind of trying to stay away from executives' authorities on negotiating. negotiating stuff like that. What I know we can do is try to find some money to address that issue, and that's what we're trying to do within this budget, is find some money or allocate some money to the trash problem. Tom, you want to comment a little bit on the trash issue also, because I know you're active on that, and I believe Senator Goodluck is also.
The trash is, like you said, it's bad. My aunt in Wyola lives 200 yards from the trash dumpster, so when they buy it, they burn it, the smoke goes right to her house. And, it's what it is. But with the chairman, I've been trying to get him to do something about it, and he's just, it seems like his interest is elsewhere. We put money into when we did the LDB, money for Head Start and bullets and stuff. We put money into that too, but I don't think any of that got utilized. I think it got sucked into the general fund.
Well,
and then I know the
landfill, I don't think you'll be paying anybody else.
one of the things about landfill though, nowadays EPA and all the environmental protection stuff has to be followed. And if we do that, that's going to be like several millions of dollars that we'll have to put into that, and that'll be like depending on each community or however we do that, because you have to have water quality assessments and everything done before the hearing, and then have to line them, and it's just, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. We have to have special equipment to work it, just like the monitoring that's in Hardin uses. And so that's an option though. We've talked about it, trying to do it kind of same thing with the Cheyennes, but over on that side of the reservation, so it's kind of out of our way, but it's just, that's one of the options. Also, we've looked into getting our own trucks so that we can go around and do our own trash instead of paying Republic. Because the contract with Republic was up 3 weeks ago, and they just renegotiated a thing with them again. But I'm not sure exactly. There's like I just found out that Friars and Fort Smith, I think, they're on private property. And so that's a negotiation that they did with the landowners. And so those aren't even the tribal ones, and then the county has some stuff going on too. So the one in Lodge Grass, that's I've been trying to push that to get us on. We have a facility there, but it belongs to the county. The tribe owes the county like 800, almost 800,000, 700 and some thousand. And the Lodge Grass City is trying to buy that facility so that the Lodge Grass District will be able to utilize it. And then anybody else that they're going to do a pay thing, so that you pay, so anybody can use it, but still they'll have to, so that it pays for itself. The city isn't going to make any money off of it after we went through the numbers on it, the people that are there, and the amount and stuff. The city's not really going to make any money, but it's going to pay for itself, and that's what we want. We're not really looking at it to make money off of it. And then we also talked about doing some recycling stuff. But we talked to the lawyer, and there's a lot of issues about that too. Who we get to sell our recycled stuff to, how we can process it. And we know there's jobs there, but it's just the fact that trying to sell what we recycle there's a lot of people like, I think China used to buy a lot of our United States' plastics, and they're not doing that anymore. And that was one of the major places where they were sending it to. It's just like kind of like coal, or we're trying to sell coal to now too. But so our trash issue, we're looking into it, but it's without AJ and working on our budget, putting money towards the budget in our trash. That's kind of where we're sitting right now.
As AJ, couldn't you suspend him? Say maybe he's incompetent, he's not doing his job. When they impeached a chairman, I think they wrote it so that a chairman can never be impeached again, but you can amend that.
Well, that takes what they were talking about, the numbers that you were talking about. Yeah, I think the voting population of what it is, 8,000 something. The percentage of that, they got that real high, so it's like 23% or 2,300 votes.
Get signatures,
and so,
like Clary said, when they got signatures, that really, we made an
Yeah.
effort.
And the easiest way is we'll talk to the other officials. If those 3 officials would push it, that would happen.
In the first place, when they first voted him in, he didn't speak a word of pro. That was the time to get him down. We didn't vote for it. I have a lot of questions, but I'm gonna make it short, I think.
No.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you. I believe we have one more, then we'll get some lunch. We had one more hand, I believe it was it. One more question, then we'll get some lunch here. Then we'll. Hey, Tom, Senator Yellowtail serves as our Health and Human Service Chairman. So if you guys got any health and human concerns, issues, he's the man to talk to. Senator Yellowtail here.
Thank you. Are you the Speaker of the House? This is the home, inviting the elders over. We, the elders, could get a bill out here to suspend the chairman if you want us to. Or I would like to see what all you senators are going to do on this chairman. Because when you tell him, Haridala, Nut, he will go and make his own mind up and he won't listen to you guys. And I'm wondering, how long are you going to allow him to do this to you guys?
Yeah, commenting a little, I want to comment a little bit on the removal process in the Constitution, if I'm correct, legal. Some of them that went through the removal process. There's 2 ways to remove, correct?
Yes.
And once the 2001 Constitution was written, that I believe I wasn't here when they wrote that, but they made it so hard. That was the kind of the point they did in that Constitution was on removal. That way, no one could just get removed after chairman. So I believe there's 2 ways to removal process, and I believe Clarice got the petition process, and the other way is the majority of the other elected executive officials, so your secretary, vice secretary, and vice chairman all have to agree. That's another way. And as far as the legislative, I'll give it to Thor and comment a little bit on that also.
Thanks, boss. So your constitution makes it very hard, unlike any other constitution I've ever seen, to remove your executive, your chairman. So it is, as Speaker said, those are the ways. You do have an initiative process here. An initiative process can't remove anybody, but it certainly could be creatively written to restrict somebody. I'll just say it that way. But other than that, there are just the 2 methods here, and in the one method requires one of the 6 criteria, including being convicted of a crime. One of the problems you have is your current FMA doesn't have any crimes in it. So you can have fiscal mismanagement, but so what? So the new bill that is being proposed and being brought forward by your body here, in conjunction with the executive, will have at least 6 crimes, if I remember right. We were just talking about this. It might have 7 in it. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it'll actually have crimes in it, so that for fiscal mismanagement, you can be convicted of something, which you can't now, which is a little weird. So we're trying to fix that. That's where we are right now.
Okay, thank you. As far as I know, you could get 2 signatures from the executive branch to sign off and have him suspended. It doesn't have to be all 3 of them. It could be 2. And they could suspend him just by signing off on a letter. And if you go back into the Constitution and read it, it tells you right there how to do it. But anyways, this time home, I'm Speaker of the House. Thank you.
Okay, we'll conclude that, and maybe after the meeting, you can get with our legal, and they can answer more to that question on that issue. Thank you for the question. Like I said, they brought lunch today, provided by Senator Hogan of Reno, and the branch also helped out. So, guys, all thank Senator Hogan for providing some lunch too. And I'll just say, Marvin, I was just
Aruu kitte kiekko. Aivan, kiekko kodai. Mietä laivista kiekko itse. Kohtaa haaliikko kiekko kiekko. Mahdollisuutta itse. Ei vaan edes kohtuutta kiekko haluaa kiekko itse. Tahua. Tahua liikaa. Kiekko. Palkaa tosiaan itse kiekko.
Oh, all up. This, as a whole, thank you for showing up today. And the questions now is to give Glenn, you're free to ask the senators, your representatives, not staff, good to get legal Glenn, so thank you for coming again. Hopefully we can make this annual every month.